videos. Let's begin with Bengal, well, a story that has been reigning over the past many weeks and many more weeks to come. The top story, the war of words coming in from Bengal over Mamata Banerjee's injury, the Chief Minister's grave injury. She's in the hospital recuperating, hopefully, and we wish her speedy recovery. Now, the Bengal Chief Minister had issued a new message appealing to her party cadre to maintain peace. In this video, she doesn't claim it to be a political attack or an attack instigated by a few. Though her party is now sticking to the charge where they say that this was motivated. Though nobody has named the BJP. The BJP, on the other hand, is calling all of this theatrics, dramatics, aimed at winning sympathy. Here's more.
চোট লাগার পরে আমার গাড়ি বনেটের উপরে আমি দাঁড়িয়ে নমস্কার করছিলাম যে আমি আবার নিজের ফিল্ডে ফিরে যেতে পারবো তবে হয়তো পায়ের প্রবলেম থাকবে কিন্তু আমি ম্যানেজ করে নেব
A day after she was injured in an incident first described as a conspiracy by Mamata Banerjee, the West Bengal Chief Minister released a new video from hospital bed. Unlike yesterday, when she was visibly in pain, Mamata appeared calm. In this latest message to her cadres, there was no mention of a conspiracy or attack.
আমি অনুরোধ করব আমার সকলের কাছে যে সকলে শান্ত থাকুন সংযত থাকুন আমি আশা করি 2-3 দিনের মধ্যে আমি আবার নিজের ফিল্ডে ফিরে যেতে পারবো
Doctors say the Chief Minister has suffered injuries to her left ankle and foot. Mamata, who underwent a series of medical tests, has vowed to hit the campaign trail as soon as possible, even if it means moving around in a wheelchair. Meanwhile, more visuals of the public gathering where she was injured have emerged. Videos show Mamata travelling in her car with front left door open. She's seen leaning out of the car while interacting with the crowds. Eyewitnesses have pieced together the chain of events.
মোটামুটি পাবলিক ছিল এটি তো মিনিমাম 300-400 লোক তো পুরো একবার দেখার জন্য একবার গাদা নিয়ে
Some witnesses claim the police were away from the convoy.
एकदम पास में नहीं था कुछ दूर पे ही था।
भीड़ को कौन कंट्रोल कर रहा था?
भीड़ कुछ सिविक पुलिस था और कुछ पब्लिक भी कंट्रोल करता था।
Mamata's injury has become the focal point of Bengal politics for now. The TMC is sticking to its charge of conspiracy and security lapse, while the BJP maintains the charges are a stunt for sympathy.
যে বিজেপির রাজ্য সভাপতি এবং বিজেপির রাজ্য যুব শাখার সভাপতি দুজনেই বলেছিলেন 10 তারিখের পর দেখবেন যে কি হয় আমরা সেই ওদের ভিডিও ক্লিপও আপনাদের দেখাতে পারি দেখুন ওরা বললেন 10 তারিখ মমতা ব্যানার্জি মনোনয়ন দিলেন এবং সেই দিনই তিনি আহত হলেন এটা নিয়ে আমাদের ঘোর সন্দেহ যে ওরা কি ভেবে বলেছিলেন যে 10 তারিখের পর দেখবেন
चोट जो है उनको लगी है कि नहीं लगी है पैर फिसला है कि नहीं फिसला है कई सवाल खड़े होते हैं और कई सवाल खड़े हुए हैं और मुझे लगता है कि चुनाव आयोग इस वक्त इसकी जांच कर रहा है और भी जांच कर रहा है और सच्चाई सामने आएगी लेकिन एक बात समझना चाहिए बड़ा पुराना एक्सपायर फार्मूला है ये सिंपैथी गेन करने वाला बहुत एक्सपायर फार्मूला है
Trinamool Congress Supremo Mamata Banerjee's video message from the hospital bed is being seen as a powerful optic by many. While the Trinamool Congress has now decided to take the matter up with the Election Commission of India in New Delhi, Mamata Banerjee has clarified that this incident is not going to stop her from campaigning and that if required, she would campaign across West Bengal in a wheelchair. Experts say this might swing sympathy votes in favor of the Trinamool Congress. Will that actually happen on the ground? Time will tell. With camera person Shamsundar Ghosh and Paulami Saha, Suryagni Roy and Anupam Mishra in Nandigram, Indrajit for India Today in Kolkata.
Well, today, Mamata Banerjee made absolutely no mention of it, but not one, 6 senior TMC leaders did insinuate that this was a political design, political agenda behind the attack. TMC MP Choudhary had said the BJP is behind what he calls was an attack on Mamata Banerjee.
যে বিজেপির রাজ্য সভাপতি এবং বিজেপির রাজ্য যুব শাখার সভাপতি দুজনেই বলেছিলেন 10 তারিখের পর দেখবেন যে কি হয়। আমরা সেই ওদের ভিডিও ক্লিপও আপনাদের দেখাতে পারি। দেখুন, ওরা বললেন 10 তারিখ মমতা ব্যানার্জি মনোনয়ন দিলেন এবং সেই দিনই তিনি আহত হলেন। এটা নিয়ে আমাদের ঘোর সন্দেহ যে ওরা কি ভেবে বলেছিলেন যে 10 তারিখের পর দেখবেন কি হয়।
Some more reactions all coming in from the TMC. The TMC Congress has, Trinamool Congress has rejected the claims that Mamata was injured after her vehicle hit a pillar. They claim the SUV had no dent, which means there was no accident.
If the door has hit a pillar, then there would be a scratch in the dent or scratch.
Yeah.
But nothing is like that.
Around this spot.
There is nothing. Enter in the door, there is no scratch, no dent. So how a pillar can, the door was hit by a pillar? Actually, the door was hit by some few person who pushed
it from behind. And that you think could have been intentional?
I think so. It is intentional.
All right, let's get you more reactions. Let's listen in to TMC MP Kakuli Ghosh Dastidar. She said that she has tweeted, in fact, asking if the Prime Minister was hinting about an attack when he said Mamata's scooty might fall in Nandigram. Listen in.
लेकिन हम नहीं चाहते किसी को चोट आए, लेकिन जब स्कूटी ने नंदीग्राम में गिरना तय किया है तो हम क्या करें?
Well, so the Prime Minister said that in Brigade Ground, and now a couple of TMC leaders have insinuated that why did the Prime Minister said this? Because just a few days after, Mamata Banerjee has got seriously injured. Once again, we wish her well. We hope she's back soon, but there is ambiguity on what exactly happened. Let's cut across right now to Mr. Derek O'Brien. He's joining us, TMC Rajya Sabha MP. Sir, appreciate you talking to us this evening. Thank you. Sir, fair amount of ambiguity there, Mr. O'Brien. Because yesterday, when Mamata Banerjee did speak to the press, she seemed in abject pain. For someone who's seen her, usually a relentless campaigner, brazen, confident, there was evident pain. At that point of time, she had said that there were 3 or 4 people who she felt tried to push her. Today, her statement to the party cadre didn't anywhere seem to suggest that this was by design, but it could have been an accident. However, many of your leaders have said that this is politically engineered. Which one, is it where the TMC stands? Is this a politically motivated attack, or, sir, was this an accident?
You see, before we get to all this, I think, in so many years of politics, I've never stood out of a hospital to do television bites, and I don't think I should be standing here to do this when we are doing this kind of Today was the medical report we saw. The lady has fractured her ankle. What are we talking about? There's a sequence of events. The parliamentary party delegation, 6-7 of us are going tomorrow. 6 of us are going to meet the Election Commission of India, and we are going to submit the facts as we know them, and we are going to submit a sequence of events. Please wait till tomorrow morning at noon. You are now comparing. Please don't go down to the level of comparing what she said. Today was a message to calm everyone down, because there's a lot of emotion in Bengal, and there's emotion across the country. Even somebody who doesn't agree with us politically, like a Mr. Naveen Patnaik, politically we have differences. We haven't done anything together for the last 10 years. We've been on different sides of the political divide, but still, Mr. Naveen Patnaik sent a message, public message today, I think it was on Twitter or Facebook, which said, wishing the Chief Minister of West Bengal a speedy recovery. She's in hospital. What have we come to today in politics? A message from the Prime Minister of India? No. A message from the Home Minister? This Chief Minister with Z category. Yes, she's also India's only woman Chief Minister, but I'm not going there. This state she is in charge of is larger than many countries, including Germany. What courtesy, what graciousness, where have we come to where you can't send a message? And on this issue of what happened and what didn't happen, the car photographs are there. Worse still, lots of you in the media have been very responsible, but as usual, some people have just got blinded. A wire agency, ANI, put out a report yesterday from an eyewitness. I'm going to soon, we've got pictures and video of that gentleman who was the eyewitness. He's a BJP worker sitting with the BJP candidate. And a large agency like that is putting out them as an independent witness. I think at moments like these, we are living in dangerous times. What happened on 7th of March, 8th of March, 9th of March, 10th of March? Who is in charge here? Who is in charge? The Election Commission of India. Somebody has to be held responsible. Look at the footage. Some too irresponsible, and I have to use the strong word, tasteless, almost uncouth. One gentleman, I can't even say gentleman, one from the Congress party and one flunky MP from the BJP made statements 10 minutes after this incident saying this entire thing was fabricated. And here we are at this government hospital here at PG Hospital to suggest that Mamata Banerjee is going to fabricate an event. There are other people who can win Oscars for acting, but not my leader. Mamata Di is a fighter. I first want to use this opportunity to thank everybody. It hasn't been possible for the All India Trinamool Congress to reach out to each one of you. We want to thank you very, very much for all the messages have come out. We want to thank large sections of the media who've been very responsible for in the kind of reporting which they have done. And I also want to assure all the millions of people across the world, and not only in Bengal, who love and have deep respect for Mamata Banerjee, who have admiration for her, to tell her we are confident. She's got her ankle now in a cast. It's in a cast. It's a fracture, for God's sake. So she will, I know what she will do. She will overrule all of us, and she'll get back to campaigning very, very soon, maybe even if it's on a wheelchair. But there is only one Mamata Banerjee, and don't degrade her by saying that she concocted this incident. Shame on those who are saying this. And worse still, I think in our political space, elections will come, elections will go, but let's have some basic courtesy, and we will tell the Election Commission tomorrow at noon what we think and what these events are. And this is part of a larger plan. Who is the only person in the opposition today who is between one nation, one party, one ideology, and two men? One woman. With the people of Bengal behind her. Thank you very much. You'll have to leave me now.
Sir, one question.
You'll have to leave me now.
Sir, will you take one question? Mr. O'Brien, just one question will you take from us?
Yes.
Just, sir, like we wish her Godspeed.
I'm always try.
Thank you, sir. Just one question, right? We wish her Godspeed, and we hope she's back soon with us. And, I think that's cutting across party lines. You've seen a lot of commentary which has come in across party lines. Some of your opposition members have also come and, wished her well, getting her back on her feet. Two quick questions, sir, which I will take from you. One, of course, do apprise us on the health of Mamata Banerjee. And the second question, sir, the EC has now written back, and the EC has said that it is, it hasn't taken over law and order in the state, that it is being accused of malpractice. And the EC says it finds it undignified to respond to allegations that things are being done at the behest of a particular party.
Listen, this party, what you see is what you get. This party, the Trinamool Congress, was also written 2-3 weeks ago to the EC saying one of those gentlemen shouldn't be in the EC. So please, let me not make too many comments on the EC. It's an institution. We respect the institution. I don't want to get into individuals, but we've said this before, that we have to cherish, we have to nurture our independent institutions in India. So when I say something like the BJP have got, Shiv Sena have left them as an ally, Shiromani Akalidar have left them, and they've got other allies, I don't like saying it. It makes me sad to say these kind of things. But if political parties today and if the people of India don't get together, we need to cherish, nurture, build, I would dare say rebuild and strengthen these institutions. Otherwise,
this is right now
not the India which was conceived in 1950 with the Constitution. So we will The EC people are watching. People are watching what is happening. Do you know, if you want to go into the details, before the DG was removed from Bengal, one political party, no guesses for answering, how many letters they wrote against him? This is like a, now you have a troll army. So we don't want to get into these details today. Please allow me that little privilege, because less than 100 meters away from here, one of the most empowered, one of the most self-made, one of the most passionate, doing what she stands for and believing in what she does, she is lying there flat on her back on a hospital bed.
So, just one quick question. How is
What
she
is
doing
the
right
India
now?
we
We
live
know
in?
she has
Mr.
a fracture.
Prime Minister, Mr. Home Minister, Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Home Minister. One little message. No, she's doing, I would say yesterday it was, the doctors are there. And see, the doctors are there, they are doing their job, and I don't think it's the job of political party spokespersons or MPs to come out here and give the medical updates. The doctors are doing their job. They will keep giving out the medical updates. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sir, what's her message? You must have spoken to her, Mr. O'Brien. All right, okay. We've lost Mr. O'Brien. We're going to come and, connect to him later. But let's cut across to our guest this evening. We have Mr. S.Y. Qureshi, former CEC, Nikhil Prasun, BJP spokesperson, Meeta Chakrabarti, Congress spokesperson, Nandigram Banerjee, who joins us in the capacity of a TMC supporter. I'd like to cut across to Mr. Qureshi before I cut across to our political guest. Mr. Qureshi, set the premise. The EC has been dragged into this. Tomorrow, 6 MPs are meeting the Election Commission. How do you see it pan out? Because, the EC is now replying to political accusations where it's saying that we are not responsible for law and order. It's getting murky.
First of all, my best wishes to Mamata ji for her quick recovery. It's very unfortunate whatever happened. What is the background, we don't know. But what is surprising is that there are so many cameras always chasing a political leader. Till now, we haven't come out with the authentic version. CCTV cameras, private cameras, media, everyone. Now, secondly, the fact that the delegation will be meeting the Election Commission. I'm sure Election Commission will get it inquired and arrive at a conclusion whether there was any mischief involved or whether it was just an accident. But to say that the Election Commission is an outsider and has nothing to do is absolutely wrong, because the moment the election is announced, by a notification from the Director General of Police to the last constable, they are placed on deputation to the Election Commission, and they take orders directly from the Election Commission. In fact, the fact that the Election Commission got a DGP chain to say that Election Commission has been dragged into it, sucked into it, I think it's the wrong language. Election Commission is the most appropriate forum to approach, because once the election process is in motion, they're controlling the situation, and here this incident involves a candidate, and that too a chief minister. To say that the Election Commission has nothing to do with it is absolutely, I don't know what to call it.
So, sir, that is what the Election Commission says. That's the word of the Election Commission. It's just written back to the TMC. And the Election Commission says we are not responsible for law and order, and it's undignified to blame one party for what has happened. This is what the Election Commission has written back to the TMC.
I don't know. I've not read the statement, but if this is the statement, I find it very surprising. Very surprising. Election Commission is in charge of law and order, and by a notification, every police officer from DGP to the constable is placed on deputation. So what does that mean? The Election Commission just is an onlooker, an outsider, and that too in the case of a candidate, and that too a chief minister. So I find it very difficult to understand.
All right, okay, let's, that's what the EC has said just a short while ago, just about 10 minutes ago, their reaction has come in. Let's cut across to our other guest. Nikhil Prasun, the fact is, and it was something which was raised by Mr. Derek O'Brien. It's political season, understandable. It's an election which has very high stakes. The returns politically would be higher for either the BJP and the TMC. But political decency would account that a word in inquiring about the health of the Chief Minister of West Bengal from either the Prime Minister, the Home Minister of the country.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening,
On this
sir.
day of Mahashivratri, I wish her all the best. I wish her speedy recovery. and maybe she will hit the ground pretty soon. And we are all sad that she is injured. But the main thing is that what is the stand of the BJP? Behind the grandiloquence, the senior MP of Trinamool Congress probably was trying to obfuscate something. The main thing is that that particular incident has happened. Now, whether that was an accident or whether there was some kind of conspiratorial intent behind the whole thing. Number two, there are certain questions which are required to be answered. Now, that we see as is visible from the footage, as is obvious from the footage, there is a lot of crowd. The door is half open. The chief minister is standing there. And after that, in another scene, she, says that her leg stands hurt. Now, the main thing is that what is the point in taking her all the way to Kolkata, because she has built so many super specialty hospitals nearby. So what is the plight of those super specialty hospitals? What is the security that the three-ring security that she usually enjoys, the jet plus security thereof? What was the status of that security? Why wasn't there an ambulance alongside her? The people who are responsible at the district level for the security, what is their stand?
Okay.
And number two, this is very important. The statement that she issued yesterday and the statement that was issued on behalf of her today, there is discrepancy in that statement. As well as the fact that Kolkata police has primarily said that it could be a case of accident now. Now the truth is required to be unearthed. That's why the BJP is demanding an impartial probe, even to the extent of CBI for that matter. What is the point in pointing fingers at BJP? Our state president has been subjected to multiple such attacks, more than 24 attacks. Our national president, Mr. JP Nadda, was attacked in South Chobis Pargana. More than 140 of our cadres were murdered, and some of them were lynched on the trees. The main thing is that we have always been at the receiving end of this political vendetta.
Sir, as I cut across to our other party spokesperson, the fact is, it's one thing to talk about an issue, the other to make it about yourselves. If here is what, the TMC is saying, you have the chief minister of a state who is injured, who possibly has a fractured leg. Would it not account that maybe the tallest leaders that be, the prime minister, the home minister, at least drop a message asking about her well-being? Cutting, across party lines there?
The governor went there yesterday itself, and many BJP leaders also paid her a visit in SSKM hospital. And the main thing is that the senior leadership of Trinamool started saying that there is a sequence of events, and that has to be deciphered, that there was some tweet done by our party chief, and after that things followed. The main thing is they started pointing fingers at us at the outset without going into the depth. Now this particular thing, and now she herself says that this could be an accident. Now our stand substantiated that this incident is required to be probed thoroughly because of the politics of theatrics that has been a part.
Sir, now, okay, 1 second. Politics. I want to come in before I bring in our other leaders. Theatrics by whom?
No.
You said politics of theatrics.
That the politics of theatrics has been a part and parcel of the political scenario here.
Okay, so are you, sir, before I go, I want to go across and I want to ask you, when you say politics of theatrics has been a part and parcel, when you invoke it right now, are you insinuating that Mamata Banerjee is play acting?
I'm not saying that. The main thing is that whether that was an accident or was it a conspiracy, that is required to be, differentiated by an impartial probe. That is required to be, instead of pointing fingers at us, because now they are going to the election commission. Election commission has, now they start blaming every single constitutional authority.
Sir, you have a former CEC no. I'm going to bring in Nandigram Banerjee, but you have a former CEC who's sitting on your panel and says this is the responsibility of the election commission. He's a former CEC, and I would think of all of us here, sir, I think of collectively all of us, he's the highest authority to respond to the fact that whether the EC needs to step in or not. And he's just said it is the responsibility of the EC.
We would welcome that. If EC steps in and takes concrete steps, it has to be welcomed. And we are demanding a thorough probe because fingers are being indiscriminately pointed out at us. So this is something which is ludicrous. Now what this senior, our MP of Trinamool Congress was saying, I think it is completely unsubstantiated. The moment, the sequence of event that he was talking about is something which is
Sir, he didn't say. Okay, no,
How
he
can
didn't.
we talk about this?
No, 1 second. He didn't give any sequence of events. He says he will give it to the EC. So we don't know what is
No, he
substantiated.
told me, well, he was objecting that Prime Minister told that she may get hurt and all those things.
No, he didn't say that.
He was
Mr.
trying
O'Brien
to
didn't say that.
insinuate in some way or the other. Now, this particular thing
So
needs
then
to be
Mukhtar
objected
Abbas
to.
Naqvi, your own
How
party
can
member
Prime Minister
said
even
that these...
imagine?
Sir,
No,
your
Mr.
own party member Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi today said that this is theatrics, it's politics of the past, tried and tested to try and gain sympathy. But having said that, I'll come back.
People of West Bengal are emotional, sensitive, but they are sensible as well. They are
So
not
what are
going
you
to
trying
get
to
deviated
insinuate?
from
Are
the
you
core
saying this is
issues.
theatrics or not theatrics? What are you insinuating?
I don't want to say anything. The main thing is that whether this was an accident or this was a conspiracy, it needs to be investigated into.
So the fact is she's
To an
still
impartial
injured.
agency.
The fact is she's still injured.
That we are saddened. We are saddened by the fact that our chief minister is
Anirban
injured.
Banerjee,
and we wish her speedy recovery.
Okay, Anirban Banerjee, to use the one for a better word right now, a cult figure like Mamata Banerjee, a relentless campaigner, confident leader, a mass leader, goes in, campaigns, she could have gotten hurt accidentally. However, there are a plethora of TMC leaders right now making the connect to the BJP, especially to the speech made by the Prime Minister.
Yes, not only the speech by the Prime Minister, but also the Facebook, Twitter posts of Mr. Dilip Ghosh, Mr. Soumitra Khan, and the sudden action, or I would rather say inaction, on the part of the EC, where they removed the DG without even consulting the state government. And immediately after this is the series of events, there's a consequence which shows that the CM is severely hurt. Whether it's an accident, whether it's a conspiracy, whether it's an attack, that is something we can debate all night long. But nothing is going to take away from the fact that a 65-year-old woman has been severely hurt, lying on the bed in the hospital, and the top BJP leaders have nothing more but to ridicule her. Is this the kind of politics the BJP wants to import in West Bengal? But I must say that this is not the kind of politics you can actually practice in Bengal. You must have some basic level of decency if you want to really win the hearts of the people of this state. Therefore, I really don't want to reply to the crass remarks made by most of the BJP leaders, including Babul Shufio and 2 times MP from West Bengal. Where is the minimum decency, as Mr. Derek O'Brien said, at this time, can we not for a moment stop fighting over political issues? Yes, we are political rivals. Yes, we have our difference of opinions, but where is the basic courtesy? The BJP leaders of the state, they are ridiculing the CM. There's complete silence from the Prime Minister and the Home Minister, and the spokesperson here of the BJP, when you're asking about why the BJP leaders, the Prime Minister and the Home Minister are silent, he replies that the governor went to the hospital. Is the governor a leader of the BJP? So are they accepting this allegation by the opposition that the governor is
Our leaders also went.
BJP? Sir, please just a moment.
They were denied entry.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir, let's go one by one. Can we be kind on that regard? Please go one by one. Yes.
And the last point is that this pillar theory, so where is the mark on the car? If the door hit the pillar, which rebounds so hard as to injure the CM, where is the mark on the car? We also want a proper investigation. There are many questions that the Election Commission has to answer. Then why is the BJP so rattled? Is the Election Commission right now a wing of the BJP? Nobody pointed fingers at the BJP until and unless they jumped in and called this a nautanki, a stage-managed affair, a stunt. We were not telling anyone that the BJP has done this. We were questioning the Election Commission's lapse. But the BJP took it on themselves as if the Election Commission is their wing and jumped in to call all kind of names to a 65-year-old woman who has been severely injured at this time. Forget about Chief Minister, forget about Trinamool and BJP. This is a woman who is like a mother to millions, is injured, severely injured. Think if this had been your own mother, would you behave in this manner with her?
All right, I want to...
So where is the decency?
Okay, Mita Chakrabarti, even your party today stands accused of possible insinuation that there were maybe members or cadre of the Congress that could have been behind this attack.
Okay, firstly, good evening. And right at the onset, as a woman politician, And as the Chief Minister of the state, I would like to wish Ms. Mamata Banerjee a very speedy recovery. We could be politically opposed to her, but we would definitely would like to see her back on the campaign trail. We would want a free and fair contest, and we would love to see Mamata Banerjee back campaigning for her political organization. So yes, we wish her good health, and we wish her that she should come back to the political campaign trail as soon as possible. Having said that, now this theory that has been planted or that is being promoted by a section of TMC supporters and the different versions that are coming, that are doing the rounds since yesterday, is a little disturbing. First of all, without a free and fair probe, without a complete impartial probe, how can anyone jump to a conclusion that there has been a physical assault or an attack? Secondly, the version given by the Chief Minister last night, right after the incident, and the video message that was given out today, there has been a clear gap and there has been a clear disconnect between the two versions. That needs to be pointed out. Thirdly, we definitely would like to urge for a free and fair probe and for the facts and for the sequence of events to be established. Because if at all there is an element of truth in the theory that has been promoted that there are 3 or 4 local supporters of opposition party, it could be BJP or it could be any other political party, or 3-4 local goons who actually dared to come close to Mamata Banerjee, who is the chief minister and the most powerful woman in the state, enjoying Z+ category of security. If there is really an element of truth in that theory that they really managed to go there and push her and physically attack her, then it's alarming. It's alarming because if the chief minister of the state is not secured, then I am absolutely dismayed thinking about the security of the common voters who will go to cast their votes. And I'm absolutely very, very anxious to think about the security of the common political workers, irrespective of their political alignment, who will be participating in their campaign.
Okay, madam, I want to take that question back to the former CEC, Mr. S.Y. Qureshi. Sir, 2 questions I want to ask you. I'm again going into the detailed letter which the EC has written back to the TMC on, where TMC said that the EC needs to look in on what's happened. And I want to ask you, because there is contention over what the EC has said. And I'll quote the EC. EC says, it's undignified to respond to allegations that things are being done at the behest of one particular political party. Is the EC right in using this language, sir? Is this language that the EC should be using?
No, this part is an insinuation against the EC that they have actually EC will surely not accept it, and they have given a rejoinder. It is the other part that we have nothing to do with law and order. That is something which is absolutely not acceptable, because the rules which I knew, unless they have changed the rules, the rule is that the CM cannot even call the SP, and if she calls the SP, he will not even respond. He will not go. The SHO, everybody, and they have been when the state government has no control over them because their control has moved to Election Commission. So to say that we have nothing to do is absolutely wrong and not acceptable. And to say that the Election Commission has been sucked in. Now, when the election is happening and such a thing happens, who else will people go to except the Election Commission? Where else will they go? So they have gone to the right forum, the Election Commission, with their complaint. They're going tomorrow, and surely Election Commission, hopefully, will take a correct decision. But this the interpretation that they are just onlookers is absolutely wrong, because a state government has no control on any policeman today.
Okay. All right. Okay. Nikhil Prasoon, before I go to Nikhil Prasoon from the BJP, Mr. Qureshi, we are going into an 8-phase election. Look at what's happening today. What can we expect in days to come now?
You're asking me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, in fact, although the multi-phase election has been the norm in Bengal all these years, but one was hoping that with more security forces available, central security forces available, and in the age of social media, where between phases there's a lot of fake news and rumors floating around, which can create a lot of problem. I think we should move towards reducing the number of phases. And ideally, I had written many times that if straight away 3,500 companies are given, we can. In fact, once Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam, when he was Rashtrapati, he asked me, "Can't we do it in one phase?" I said, "Surely, sir, we can do it in one phase. All that we need is adequate number of paramilitary forces, the Central Armed Police Force. Give us 3,500 companies, we can do it in one day." And in the social media age, one phase election actually will be ideal.
All right, okay, interesting observation. I want to just go in for a quick comment with Nikhil Prasan. You know, Mr. Prasan, you made a comment that the governor went. The governor is not part of the government, sir. Mr. Dhankar has nothing to do with the government, you know, representing.
No. He is representing the central government for that matter. And now coming to the other point that you just...
No, sir, representing the... No, governor is not representing the central government. The central government is the BJP's. It's a constitutional post. There's a huge difference.
That is a constitutional post.
Sir, he's not representing the central government.
He may not be... Now, there can be, you know, change of words. So the main thing is that the idea, what is the point in raising such non-issues? The main thing is that what has the BJP demanded? An impartial and thorough probe into the whole incident. So that, and now I would like to raise another question. Few days back, 82 years old lady, she was assaulted badly by the TMC goons in Nimta, Damdam. There was not even a single statement from the ruling dispensation. Why? Because the culture of violence has been unleashed by the ruling dispensation, and that is something which is
so one doesn't make the other better, but Anirban Banerjee, please respond, and I'm going to go into a quick break. Yes, Mr. Banerjee.
No, what is the main thing is that so far as the violence against women is concerned...
Okay, you've made your point, sir. You've made your point. Mr. Banerjee, please respond, and I need to go into a quick break there.
On one hand, the BJP people are wishing the CM speedy recovery, and on the other hand, they're continuously mounting the vilest of personal attacks on the lady. So therefore, this two-faced approach of the BJP is actually only exposing them. Let's not for a moment forget that this is a party which has allegedly masterminded two of the worst riots in the history of our country. Therefore, anything under this regime of this party is possible.
Okay.
We cannot rule out any option.
All right. Okay, gentlemen, appreciate you all for joining us. And madam, thank you there. We would like to end this debate with, yes, wishing Mamata Banerjee, the Chief Minister of West Bengal, a speedy recovery. Godspeed. Come back and campaign, and let's have a healthy, fair election.